You're listening to the Wrestling Philosophy Show, where we talk wrestling perspectives and beliefs. Check us out on social media, including video shows on YouTube and audio on podcast platforms. In show 20, we talk with Josh Moore of Cleveland State. This is the first of a three-part series with the Cleveland State wrestling coaches as they discuss the new era. He tells stories of his twin brother and how they hated to lose and how it transcended to being mean on the mat. What's going on, Coach?
Not a whole lot there, just another day. Wednesday is my day off, so usually do a lot of Zoom calls on Wednesday. So I'm just in my new office out here, my backyard, trying to stay away from my two crazy dogs and my three kids. They're a little bit loud in the house, so I got to get out.
I hear you on that. I hear you. What you in Stowe area? You still in the?
Yeah, I live on the border of Stowe and Cuyahoga Falls. So
Okay.
I've lived in the same spot for about 15 years now.
Gotcha. Yeah,
it's time to move, but
yeah. I lived in Monroe Falls, Cuyahoga Falls, right out of Kent. So I like that area. So getting into it. When did you know you wanted to coach, or what was that path like when you know you wanted to get back into coaching, or into coaching, I should say?
Yeah, I mean, I guess like growing up and just wrestling all the time, travel. The focus was just wrestling, just train, compete, wrestle, and you didn't really put a whole lot of thought into, I guess, the coaching thing until probably at some point in my college career when we started doing camps with Penn State, with Tim Derlin, with I mean anybody that wanted us to do camps. My brother and I, the team, would go do camps and stuff. And I think at that point, you either like working with kids and like to help kids out, or you don't. And my brother and I we grew up with a lot of kids in our house. My mom had a licensed daycare, so we had to deal with kids all of our life. And I think that's part of maybe what helped us get into coaching, was just being around kids and seeing kids and helping kids. But yeah, in college, doing all these camps and just watching our coaches, and how they interacted with kids and how they wanted to help kids. And I think it just kind of wore on us. And eventually we started getting into it and just kind of, I guess, stuck with it for the most part.
Cool. You mentioned Tim Derlin. I had the pleasure working with him in camps in college. How'd you cross paths with him?
Well, he was one of my coaches at Penn State my senior year. So he came in after my junior year and as a full-time assistant coach, and coached myself. My brother had left to go to Virginia, so it was just me, and he was kind of one of my workout partners for a little bit. I think funny story, he was in the room one day and trying to run up against the wall or do something crazy because Tim's a little bit nutty, and I think he hurt his ankle, so he was out for a while. So I kind of missed him, but he was a good guy. I mean, years and years afterwards, I still was in contact with him. And then, he was coaching at Ashland, and then he kind of moved on to some different career path, but great person. We worked camps out in Indiana for him. He talked my brother and I into going out there for like a week. He's like, yeah, you'll be at a different spot every day. It was like $200 a day or something. Like, yeah, that sounds fun. And then we get in the car and drive like 6-7 hours, and we're like hopping from house to house, just trying to find a place to stay. But it's some good times at camps, some very memorable times working camps.
Yeah, Tim's a great dude. Yeah, he's a pretty neat guy too. Do anything for you. Obviously, get into Cleveland State. You got the new era, right? That's the slogan. I don't know if that's still the slogan or what, because you guys getting some momentum. But describe that.
Yeah, it was one of those things that when I took over as head coach, I think one of the kids on the team kind of said something about, hey, we're going into the new era now. And I was like, yeah, this sounds pretty cool. I mean, I think I've seen it used a lot of times, but I think what we did was we kind of took it and we kind of made it our own. And the new era was based on a few things. And the first and foremost, just being a great coach and being there for our student athletes and giving them all the resources we can to help them be successful. the second part was, you know, recognizing our alumni and finding more and better ways to honor them and their, you know, accomplishments and their support at Cleveland State. And then the third part was kind of just making it fun again, you know, making it fun in the practice room, making it fun environment to compete in, having a good experience during dual meets, and just finding a way to get fans in our arena and get people to support us. And it definitely, you know, still in a work in progress, but, you know, as people see, we had one of our best seasons in over a decade last year, and really starting to put everything in place, and just excited about the kids we brought in, the kids we have returning, and our coaching staff, and what we can provide to our student athletes at Cleveland State.
Who's some of the guys you brought in this year you're excited about?
I mean, we brought in 13 guys, so a lot of local kids. Just, I guess, some names. We got a kid named Jax Leonard from Louisville. He was I think a 3 or 4 time state place winner. Daniel Patton, multiple time state place winner in D1. Big guy Daniel Buknovich, a couple time state place winner at heavyweight. I think he's 6'4", 280.
Oh wow.
Hard working heavyweight, which we love. You know, I mean, if you get a guy that big that's willing to work hard and embraces sweating and just grind it, I mean, he's going to be successful.
Right.
But yeah, a bunch of other local kids. Kid from Berea Mid Park, kid from Ostego, Jake Manley.
All right. Yeah.
But yeah, just a lot of really good kids, and then we have a couple good transfers as well. A kid named Marcus Robinson from Buffalo, who was a MAC place winner last year as a redshirt freshman. Joey Caprella from Lima, who went to Old Dominion, then end up transferring up. And then another local kid from Greene High School that was at West Virginia that decided to come home. So
wow.
And a few more that I missed, but yeah, we had a huge class this year, 13 guys. Gabe Phillips from out by your area, from Norwalk.
Yeah, bigger guy, yeah. Nice.
Really smart kid. So yeah, good class. They're working hard, man. I couldn't be happier with the effort they're putting in. It's going to really pay off for us.
Cool. Do you have an unwritten rule of wrestling?
I mean, other than the basics, you know, got to be disciplined, consistent with your training. But I think something my brother and I were kind of known for is just being mean, you know, just being physical, being mean on the mat, you know, on the mat.
Right.
I think sometimes you see guys like even Evan Cheek, who wrestled for me. I think I was texting maybe you or your brother about him like 5 years ago, and you were like, man, this kid's the meanest kid, you know, the most physical kid you've ever seen. But off the mat, I mean, he's the nicest kid. You know, he would help anybody out at any moment. And that's, I think, the mentality wrestler you have to have is you have to be mean. You have to be aggressive on the mat, you know, in a fair way. But off the mat, we're all great people and willing to help others, you know, and I think that's what wrestlers are.
Right. I had a coach against him, and he always knew he was going to be physical and ready to go. And you know, like you said, off the mat, him and his dad, you know, Chad, two of the nicest people, you know, still talk to him, you know, when you know, cross paths, good people. So yeah, definitely pays to be mean. You know, you and I are the same age. I remember watching you guys wrestle. Is that just from wrestling each other and just kind of had to one up each other, you know, that meanness and couldn't back down, or where'd that come from?
Yeah. I mean, I think so. I mean, I guess just being competitive, you know, you think about a few things, like some guys are motivated different ways. And you look at the kids that just love to win and love to get their hand raised and love the glory and like to show off. And then there's kids that just hate to lose.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the fuel of just hating to lose and not feeling defeated after working your butt off and putting all that time in and effort and weight and preparing, and then walking off the mat knowing that, you know, you didn't get your hand raised and the other guy and you that day. I think that's what fueled us. And you know, I guess the whole mean thing is just not wanting to lose and you know, taking that to heart and and changing that up the next time you're out there. And there's, when you lose a match, you put your head down and go cry in the corner and not put in a good effort the next match, or you could really fired up and go out there and wrestle even better and even harder than the last time. And everybody's going to lose matches,
Right.
so it's kind of just responding to it. And I think this really, picked up in some of those matches where maybe you lost the match before.
Mm-hmm. You talk about, everyone loses matches and, everyone has their setbacks. You have any, a setback that kind of set you up for success?
I think the biggest for me, looking back at my, my college career, I had a pretty good redshirt freshman year at Penn State. I was cutting a lot of weight. I was wrestling 125 pounds, and I'm sure like you were as well. And making that weight, man, it just struggles in it. And there aren't days that go by that you wonder, why am I doing this? And it's getting through those times that made you tougher. But actually, my sophomore year, I was having a pretty good year. Ranked 8th or 9th in the country. Moved up the weight class. So I was just feeling good, and end up tearing my ACL in February, and tried to come back, but with the torn ACL, man, it's just not happening. So, season. So that was tough on me, because I was finally starting to feel good and felt like I had a chance to really get on the podium, which, I believe I would have placed that year as a sophomore. But then, coming back from rehab and just feeling good again, like, hey, I'm back, my knee's getting better. And then it was in like August, like 4 or 5 months later, I'm trying to get in the room and do some light drilling. And one of my teammates, Jared Turner, I kind of still pick on him to this day for doing it, but we were just wrestling. I'm in referee's position, and the dude just power chops my elbow in half. My arm just basically is dangling in half, and it was the worst pain. So, having a torn ACL, then dealing with a dislocated elbow 5 months later, and then just not really knowing, how I was ever going to come back, was tough. But just being surrounded by great coaches, and having guys like Sammy Henson, who's a world champ, just saying, hey, just keep pushing forward, you're going to make it happen. And then having a great trainer in Dan Monthly at Penn State, who worked his magic on both my knee and my elbow and made me feel good about everything, and helped me believe that I could get back on the mat. But I think after going through those things, it was just not knowing, hey, I might not even be the same person anymore.
Right.
Really kind of, I guess in my mind, told myself, hey, I can get through anything. Like if I can get through 2 pretty big injuries in a 6-month period, I can get through anything. So I just, going through tough times, just kind of remember some of the hardships and just surround yourself with the right people, and get through it.
Where you, as wrestlers, used to go, and I fortunately never had any crazy injuries, and had to sit, but we're trained to go, and then you kind of change speeds with that recovery is tough sometimes. I have a story you need to confirm. I think off the air you said you like to golf, and I don't know if it's you, but my brother, and you mentioned Drew, my brother Drew, he claims he has a hole in one. And but you were there with him when it happened?
Yeah, I was there. Yeah, we were out at I think it was Windmill Lakes, and I don't think Drew was a great golfer by any means. I think he was like trying to get in and trying to do better, and somehow I believe we were golfing with Sportelli, maybe, I don't know.
Okay, he was pretty good, right? Sportelli was pretty good golfer, right?
Yeah, he was good. He worked at the golf course out there, so we would go out there and golf quite a bit. But yeah, Drew, somehow he hit it up there, and I don't think we really knew till we went up to the pin. It's kind of hard.
His pin was higher up, he says, right?
Yeah. He walked out there and he hit a hole.
He said he couldn't find his ball. He kept looking for his ball, and then he got to look in the hole. And
yeah, that was great. I don't think you could golf every day of your life and never do that.
Right.
That was pretty cool to see Drew do that, and it was. Does he still golf?
So we actually got out this summer. First time I've golfed in forever. I couldn't tell you the last. I'm horrible at golf. But we got out this first time he and I golf. But I think he gets out a couple times. Nothing crazy. I think takes the boys out once in a while, or work outing, or golf outing. But yeah, I got out with him this summer, so it was good to just hang with him. But yeah, of course he's bringing up that story. You know, Drew is bringing that
Oh
story up.
yeah.
And so I had to confirm that because I've never heard the story from anybody but Drew. But you know, he
Yeah,
likes to
he
tell
did it.
stories.
Did he get a plaque? I thought the course maybe or somebody made a plaque for him.
No, I haven't seen that. That's why I need the story confirmed. I haven't seen a plaque or he's
Yeah.
but yeah. So recently had Matt Hill on and talking about songs. He said, and I said, what song would you come out to? National finals. When you were in national finals, they didn't have intro songs or anything like that, right?
I don't think so. I mean, that's
Okay.
I look at now how they do things and like it's just so much better now.
Right.
I mean, it was still cool back then,
Yeah.
but yeah, it just wasn't the same. I mean, it was on ESPN too, maybe, but
Tape delay, right? Nothing.
yeah, you
live.
probably couldn't find that footage anywhere at this point. But yeah, it's much better. If I could, be in the national finals now, it'd be be a lot better. Be on all the Flow Wrestling, all these undercard wrestling cards, making some money. But
right.
It is what it is.
What song would you come out to?
I mean, now I don't know. I mean, back at Penn State, we got to pick our own walkout songs.
Okay, what was your song?
I think I came out to The Rodeo by Garth Brooks.
Garth Brooks. Oh, jeez. Nice.
It's still a good song,
Yeah.
So,
right.
I don't know. I always listen to like Kid Rock and all over the place. Kid Rock, 50 Cent, to country music, to whatever. Like, I tried to stay pretty calm before I went out there because I would get a little bit too fired up and then go really hard the first period, and then sometimes I'd be like, oh man, I got 4 minutes left. How's this
too much
work out? So I started trying to just dial it down a little bit, try to keep myself calm. So I think Garth Brooks is pretty good at that.
Kind of chilled you out. Gotcha. You you and your brother being tough and mean. Did you guys ever consider MMA or anything like that?
No, not really. I mean, we walked in. I think if somebody would have introduced it to us after college, we would have thought about it.
That was still kind of early, right? Our age, we're kind of getting out. It's just still early in the game, right?
Yeah, it was. I mean, but guys that we wrestle like Uriah Faber, I wrestled him and I don't want to brag, but he did put out this little, it was like a video of him talking and somebody asked him the toughest person he ever wrestled was. And he said the Moore brothers, but
he was talking about you. He didn't wrestle your brother.
Talking about me. Yeah, he just forgot that it was me, but he was talking about us. So I thought that was kind of funny. Wrestled him out in Reno, and I think I hit him in like my underhook head, like opposite side headlock cruncher, and beat him pretty bad. But I don't know if I'd really want to fight him. No. I mean, if the money's right, maybe. That dude seems like a good dude,
Yeah, no, he's definitely.
Cool but it's cool to see all, obviously all the wrestler guys do really well. And if I would have known about strong style, I mean, growing up here, or not growing up, but living in this area, I mean, 30 minutes from strong style, it'd been cool to, dip in there and check some things out. And I think we have a couple guys going in there now, and Ben Williford, who wrestled at Cleveland State, training there now. So,
I've known him from Burnett's. Yeah. Any other stories to one up your brother? Do you have any other stories?
To one up him?
Yeah, I have twins, so I know how that game works and the competition amongst them. So I'm trying to like keep that balanced.
It's a struggle. I mean, right now it's more like growing up, we battled all the time, right? It was we fought all the time. We shared the same room, so somebody walked in. I remember walking in late at night and the lights were out, and I think he just came up, and I couldn't even see him, but he just punched me in the face, and I was like, what's that all about? It's just like constant battles of us two, but now we're pretty friendly. I mean, certain points we'll be recruiting the same kid here and there, and things get a little bit tense, but ultimately we're we're pretty good friends. I mean, we I'd say at least 3 days a week on our way up to work, and he's driving to work, we'll talk to each other and just kind of vent on each other and things that's going on, and talk about our kids and things that we're doing. And so just, learned a lot from him. He's, was a head coach, 4 or 5 years before I was. So he's kind of been in the position and kind of understands a lot more, at that level than I do. So I'm obviously continuing to learn from him and others just on the best way to run a program and, market the program and everything that goes along with it. So we have a pretty good relationship.
Nice. You got time for some more questions? Or you got to jump off, or?
Yeah, it's fine. I'll jump on this other call a little bit late.
Okay. All right, cool.
All good.
So you touched on, kind of, he was coach, a couple of years before you. Do you have any, being from PA, now Northeast Ohio, you have any mentors, that coaching that kind of you connect with or rely on in the sport?
I mean, like right now, I probably talk to my brother the most,
Okay.
um, the thing is with like the D1 and even D2, I mean, a lot of the coaches know each other, and we see each other quite a bit throughout the season. So most of us are pretty friendly.
Mm-hmm.
Like you mentioned, talking to Hill, like I call Hill. Maybe he wants to see how things are going up there. Still talk to Danny Mitchell a little bit just to, see what's going on down at Kent. But yeah, I think that's the neat thing with wrestling is just you build a relationship with, coaches, and, a lot of them always are willing to take a phone call, whether it's talking about something that you're struggling with or talking about training guys or traveling or just about anything. The bond between coaches are, really strong, and it's kind of a thing for all of us to have people that we can reach out to at any moment.
Cool. Yeah. You're talking about that bond with a coach. Now you're a dad, right? Your boys are in the sport, right?
Yeah.
What's something that was surprising from you from the angle of dad?
Something surprising?
Yeah, just kind of like, oh, I didn't think that through. You've been coaching for a while, and then you're coaching your son
Yeah.
or whatever it may be. Is it anything kind of like surprising, or, oh, I didn't think that, I guess I could have handled that differently, or I didn't think that was going to come up this soon, or?
It's a good question. I mean, so my oldest son wrestles, and I guess I stay pretty calm when he's wrestling, but it's definitely different than coaching other people's kids. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you want the best for both, whether it's your kid or not. But I think the emotions are definitely a bit higher when it's your own kid out there competing, and really, as a parent and also as a coach, I guess I just want a fair chance for these kids to be successful and given the right opportunities and the right knowledge and skills to, to do as good as they can do. And obviously, everybody kind of develops a little bit different,
Mm-hmm.
but a lot of that comes down to just what we talked about before, just the discipline and consistency of their workouts, and just the mental part is bigger than anything. Everybody trains hard, and that's what I try to tell my son, who's my oldest son that wrestles, a good kid. He's willing to work hard, but mentally sometimes, he doubts himself or doesn't believe that he can beat somebody, or he doesn't believe that in baseball that he can hit the ball. And I think that's the biggest hurdle, is just trying mentally keeping not only my own son, but the kids on my team focused and positive, just positive
Right.
and believing they can do things. So it's, I don't say it's been a challenge. I mean, um, everything's a challenge,
Mm-hmm.
everything's a challenge, but I think that's the biggest part of any athletic coaching, is just the mental part, and keeping someone's head straight and positive, and just working towards something at all times.
Cool. Cool. Um, I have Boomer and Clint coming on later. Any questions I need to ask them?
Um, Boomer's interesting. he's like OCD. So he's like, it's weird because wrestling's the most, we're
Right.
we're in full contact. We're sweating each other. Um, and he loves it. I mean, he's not afraid to get in there, but he's the first one to get into the shower every day. So you could probably pick on him about that. That dude's trying to get the germs off him as quickly as possible. And this guy wipes his desk down every day, wipes his computer down, and is I don't know if he's afraid of the COVID and what's going on, but you would think he would be. But Musser's on the opposite end. He's
So is Musser messing with him then? You guys mess with
yeah.
Boomer then?
I mean, they share an office. They don't. No,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say. Yeah, Musser's kind of too old and mature to
Yeah.
mess with him like that. Yeah. But yeah, I could see if it was somebody younger in there, they would definitely have a good time with Boomer. But it's kind of funny. I mean, we all get along. It's we have a great relationship, but with Boomer, it's kind of funny with his OCD.
All right. No, well, thanks for jumping on. I know you got another call to jump on. If we wanted to get you on. Anything else for us?
No, that's it. I'm hopefully Boomer and Musser will tell you some good stories. I just think it's cool that Boomer grew up in Ohio, so he probably knows more about Ohio wrestling than I do. I won't say he knows more coaches, but he's probably has some different stories about him growing up and the people that he was around. And I Kilgore mentioned Boomer at one point to me. I think they kind of knew each other from somewhere.
Okay.
And same thing with Musser. I think it's cool to have two guys that grew up in Ohio, and part of the new era is keeping kids home and in Ohio and in Cleveland. And if you look at our look at our relationships, they're in Ohio, and we're going to continue to recruit good kids with good grades that stay close and want to Cleveland State. So I'm sure they'll touch more on that. But definitely talk to Musser, working out and being a strong old man.
Yeah,
So.
no, he was a bad dude. He was one of the first guys I got to watch down at the state tournament. One of those guys you didn't want to miss one of his matches, and that was, it was pretty cool watching him what he did on the mat. So, but thanks for your time, Josh. I appreciate it.
No problem. All right, Jared. Take care, man. Good talking to you.
You too.